So, professional boundaries are really important, especially for us because we are there. We're in the client's house often, we're someone that they see frequently, someone that the client interacts with, and so boundaries are really important, not only with the client, but with the parents, the caregiver, whomever might be present when we conduct these sessions. So maintaining professional boundaries, it's important. For example, I know the ethics code has a rule about gift receiving. So they have a rule that we cannot receive any gifts. I know that's changing for the next ethics code where we can receive something. So, for example, like a cup of coffee or a bottle of water, as long as it's not happening constantly, and as long as it's less than $10. But I know that's for the next ethics code, so that begins next year. But for this year, the code states that we cannot receive anything like any type of gift from our clients, because that could constitute a double relationship, right? So to where the boundaries might get a little weird, and this is why they have that kind of rule set in stone, but they're changing it for the upcoming year. So a dual relationship is what they thought that could lead to. Of course, when it comes to professional boundaries, it means dressing professionally, showing up on time, having that professional attitude about you by showing up on time and dress well groomed. Another professional boundary, of course, comes with relationship with the client. So, of course, being nice and cordial and teaching the client and talking to them. But there's that professional boundary that, of course, we're not meeting up with the client to have drinks or having any other form of relationship with them besides this treatment that we're providing for their child in this case, or with the client themselves. We're not meeting up with them outside of this to let's catch dinner or whatever it is. We're there as a professional. We're not there as a friend, which is really important, especially when you're seeing a client so frequently. Those lines can become a little blurred. So another boundary that we need to be aware of is, of course, that we're using for example, things like tickling or patting in the head or things like that are things that are appropriate for that client. I know we use that frequently. We use tickling, we use high fives. So we're touching the client and we're in that kind of interaction, but that it doesn't break a boundary that the client is uncomfortable with. So asking the client, you want tickles? Or having that communication where the client can say, yes, I like tickles, but that we're not just assuming, because it is that client's body, and that would be a boundary we would cross. Even something like a high five. Would you like a high five? Let's high five. And then if the client engages in that behavior, patting them in the head, maybe that to another client might be too intrusive, or they wouldn't like that. So this is why constant communication, and with a caregiver as well in a situation like that, is really important.